Well, it's that time of the week again, the time that you've been waiting for. It is episode number 22 of Deathpiles and Taxes. I feel like every week I give the same intro, so this week I'm trying to switch her up a bit. I'm Derek Roy Everett on the Twitter machine. I sell things on the internet for money, and across my desk here, which isn't mine, it's his, but I'm calling it my own tonight, is Adam Beasley, the tax accountant aficionado for all things e-commerce and in life, and subsequently now a eBay man himself. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. This is my favorite time of the week.
Well, we hung out this week, which, as we've said before, doesn't always happen. It's like we're friends again, so it's been a good week. Feeling like I'm changing some things up there just so people don't push that skip 30 to see what we're talking about and to listen to the introduction, my friend.
That's my brother Richard's instructions.
Richard?
Well, Ricardo.
Ricardo?
Well, his real name's Daniel, but, you know.
I don't know. So what's up?
Well, we'll get into some good details, but first off, we want to start out with thank you to the people at eBay.
Yeah, we had a great time this, was it Monday?
No, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday. This week's been just one of those crazy weeks, and everything's just kind of going by, so. And, yeah, I don't know sun up from sundown sometimes, so it's just been a lot of stuff going, but we went up to our seller group up in the eBay headquarters, at least the Utah campus, and it
was a cool place, man.
We had a good time. It was pretty educational. I'm sure we'll dive into what we learned and talked about here in a little bit, but yeah.
The key information is we will put in our show notes so you can get a hold of it. The two women that were presenting, they were from the USPS, and they gave a lot of good resources for people who have or are going to have issues in the past with different shipping items.
Let me throw this out before I forget it at the front, though.
All right.
We have an official Deathpiles and Taxes meetup happening.
Hey!
And I know it's kind of short notice, and I know we got people all across the country and multiple countries.
Yeah, the world, you mean.
Worldwide and international. So if you can't make it this time, we'll do something again some other time. But Monday, June the 17th, which is this upcoming Monday as we record. If you hear this in the future, you've missed it. We're going to have a meetup group at the Owls game. And old friend of the program who we've talked about off and on for quite a few weeks is Waddy's going to be coming down from Seattle area. So him and his family will be there. Adam and his family will be there. Derek and his family will be there. So come say hi. Come hang out and watch a ball game. I think it was $6 to $11 per ticket. So you're not really breaking the bank. They had something if you brought a toy or something it's like an early sub for Santa, something that was half off that, so no excuse not to get out to the ballpark, and we're calling it Deathpiles and Taxes night, so.
We love it. That's a good place to be.
I wanted to say that before I forgot.
Well, I appreciate it.
Or before people only listen to the first, half or whatever, we sent the second half and they missed it. So.
If you're not listening to the whole thing, you're really missing out.
Well, I'm sure they are, but I know a lot of people say, I push pause and go do some stuff, I'll get back to it, whether it's a day or two, an hour or 2 minutes or two, as long as you get back to it. Thank you.
For sure. I will make sure that I'm in attendance.
The floor is yours.
The floor, huh? Well, I appreciate that, General. You talked about my desk. You know what that is? That's a depreciable asset. I bought that so I don't have to pay less in taxes, and I also needed it for my office. But
well, my wife's got me thinking that I might need a new desk to my home office, if you will. So I might have to talk to you about depreciable assets and what have you.
Well, you do. That's a small little desk, and you're a big guy.
I'm always trying to depreciate an asset here and there, so whatever I can do to get a little ahead.
Yeah. Well, did you see the new studio downstairs? The new work area?
I took the tour. He's got the official eBay studio where you can take pictures and hang up things and why don't you give a little bit of your setup? Tell the folks what you've done.
The money making spot.
I mean, these people are selling on eBay, so they're probably interested in how you're storing your stuff and all that.
We've got an office here where we're at, and there was a vacant room. The people who are leasing from us, they moved out, and we had an empty space that we decided, hey, let's, instead of trying to lease it out, let's us use it. So we're making the full commitment because we had a small room up here, and it was kind of, it was a death pile, man.
Yeah, I mean, people listen, they understand it, they get it.
We created a death pile spot really quick. We brought in all the stuff. I mean, we had this really nice rack of clothes, or a clothing rack that we bought from Shopko when it went out of business.
The store formerly known as Shopko.
Yeah, so we bought some clearance racks, but the problem is the room was so small that there wasn't any area to take good pictures, to know what you had.
Yeah, I mean, you need pictures are key, right?
Yeah, without pictures, you're not going to sell anything.
Or if a picture doesn't look good or whatever, it's, you're scrolling through things, it's got to look nice, you're not going to stop on it.
We had an office downstairs, it's got some really good lighting. I mean, it's about 17 by 18, so it's not a huge, but it's, 350 square feet. But just the way it makes you feel, that's the difference.
Yeah, good feeling. Do you think that you're going to make up the difference from what you were renting it out for as to what you're going to be making on eBay? I mean, is that going to...
That's the goal.
Is that going to even out?
That's the goal.
I mean, we're past this $200 a month waddy competition business now if you're getting serious and dedicating office space to it, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to do that, but for us, I'm here at the office anyways, and it's just more of a convenience type thing, and we make it to where it's like a real work of place, or place of work.
Place of work. Well, I mean, if you're in a bigger town, renting things, cities, that's going to be a lot, but if you're in a smaller area... Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky we got a house. It's just me and the wife and the dog. We got space. We can work things around. But it might not be a bad thing if you're in a smaller town, smaller community. There's a lot of businesses on Main Street or wherever that might be looking for, rent out something.
Yeah, go pick up a place for a couple $100 a month. And then what it does is it motivates you to get out of that death pile.
Or at least it gives you a workspace. So, I mean, you wake up. I mean, not trying to get you a big commute or whatever, but you get dressed, you go to work, that's what you're doing. You're kind of changes your mindset a little bit, right?
It does. It makes you feel like you're, there's no temptation to lay on the couch and watch Game of Thrones. Isn't that what you watch?
Mr. Belvedere.
You know what I've been on a kick lately?
Small wonder.
Person of Interest. You ever seen that show?
I wasn't interested in it.
Ha, touche.
See what I did there?
Touche.
Get that thing out of singing? I haven't seen.
I know you. I know you were back on the Lost episodes that we used to binge together.
So okay,
this is before binge. Like this is pre Netflix and Hulu.
This is DVD. So I actually went out to because the whole story. I have to tell the whole story.
Yeah.
So back when Lost was a show, was a deal.
Yeah.
They had them on the DVD sets, right? So you'd buy the whole DVD or rent the DVD seasons, and. Friend Briefcase, we'll call him on this one so he doesn't get in trouble. If you listen to previous episodes, you might know his real alias, but this is Briefcase. Had a job out to Ely, Nevada, if you recall.
Oh, I remember.
And he said, we got done with, he was a roofing at the time, he said, we got done roofing this house out in Ely. If you guys want to come out, we got free hotel rooms for the night. Well, us being young and dumb thought, a hotel room? Well, that's cool. A bed of my own?
Let's spend $50 in gas to drive out to Ely.
Well, let's go out to Ely. It'll be a good time. And if you Google Ely, Nevada, all the good times that you can see, we did not participate in. I'll just say that much. Or some, I don't know. Anyway, so we thought, oh, it'll be cool. We'll go out there. I mean, it's what, 3 hour drive?
It was like a 4 hour drive.
Well, that's what I thought, but let me tell you the rest of the story here. It seemed like a while. So Adam comes and picks me up, and he's put together. This is back when you had a portable DVD player,
which I won in college because I had the greatest bracket in college. So it was my prize money.
So it was his prize money. I said, "What's that doing on the dashboard? You're driving." And he had Lost loaded up. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." He was going to watch Lost as he drove me out to Ely in his. Was that your Jeep at the time? What were we even in?
It was the Jeep.
And I said, "What?" And he said, "Oh yeah, we'll be safe. We'll be fine." So once you get past Delta, Utah, it's pretty much a straight shot to Ely with nothing anyway. So
well, even getting to Delta, Utah, it's not like there's a lot in the middle.
So me and my wife went for a little ride the other day because we're always looking to buy things. I'm on this stuff that grocery stores and whatnot, right?
Do you know why I brought up Lost?
Well, you probably got lost somewhere. No. You're probably out, gallivanting around, thinking that you died in a plane crash or something. Spoiler alert.
Person of interest. The secret
It's been
numbers,
5 years.
which by the way, the best thing we always did is we
More
always
than 5 years. I don't even know how long it's been since Lost is over.
It started in 2004.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, they all died in a plane crash. Spoiler alert.
2004 to 2010. But we'd always go, like, we wouldn't write down the numbers because this is back, like, you didn't have pictures on your phone. We'd always go, like, when we go to the casinos.
This is pre-iPhone.
This is way pre-iPhone. This is like the Notera, just play Snake on your phone. We'd have to text Jimmy to say, hey, what were the lost numbers? We're going to play Keno
Because
again.
Jimmy liked Lost, and he'd never go gambling with us because he's a good person, and he's not a degenerate like us. But he would supply the numbers for your Keno
Yes.
habit, so or probably Powerball.
I don't know what it was. So, anyways, they had all these spin-off shows after Lost.
Okay.
And Benjamin Linus, one of the guys that's on Lost, he's the spin-off guy who's like the lead guy in the show Person of Interest that I'm binging right now.
Well, we went out to Eureka, Utah, and I was looking for some things.
There's a show called Lost Gold that we just watched about Eureka,
Well,
Utah.
the inventor of the Zamboni from Eureka, Utah.
Shut the front door.
There you go. Stanley Cup Finals just ended.
Which, you know what we found a couple weeks ago?
Some Blues merchandise.
As sir, it's
You better
downstairs.
get that listed
I told my
real
wife.
fast.
I told my wife last night. I'm like,
It's not ever going to be hotter than it is probably last night.
Oh,
But right now,
Yeah.
before the season starts especially. And then we were out there, we said, we might as well go to Delta and see where old Chrissy Teigen grew up.
Hey, there you go.
And so we went out there, and there was a sign that said, Ely, Nevada, like 130 some odd miles, and Salt Lake was like 160. And I said, how are we closer to Ely than to Salt Lake?
so you went the whole way.
No, we had our dog in the car and stuff with us, so I was like, no. We stopped and ate at a butcher shop out to Delta, Utah, which, shout out, it took them a half hour to make a burger. I was pretty upset and thinking
Well-
I've wasted my night and time.
You know why it took them a half an hour? They had the live cow in the back.
It was may have been the best burger I have ever had.
Well, it's because it was fresh.
It was good. So I felt bad about being a little ornery. It was rodeo day out there, too. They had the rodeo in town, but it's like a half hour, 40 minutes for a hamburger.
You were hangry.
I was hangry, but shout out to Ashton's Burgers of Delta, Utah. If you're ever in that area for whatever reason and have an extra 30 minutes to kill, get a burger at Ashton's Burger Bar. I'm not even making them pay for that.
You didn't. They didn't sponsor that spot. I think we've
They did
become
with their fine premium meats.
things come better with patience. Just takes a little time. You can't be an instant overnight success.
No, but when you stop for a burger at a fast food type place, you expect it to be. I didn't know what time I was committing.
What was it worth it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
hands down, bar none.
Oh,
If the guy would have said it'll be about 30, 40 minutes though, would have been nice to know.
well,
But that's my bad for not saying how long does it take you to make you a cheese curd burger, buddy.
oh, I
cheese
can
curd
some
burger.
cheese curds.
So anyway, I thought of that when we were out there. I'm like, man, I'm grumpy that one night. Drove out 130 miles into the desert that way to the west with him with his DVD player up on the dashboard, binge watching Lost, trying to comprehend whatever crazy show he's seen and not hit
And
something.
it was pretty scary too, because you get in the middle of nowhere and you see some guy jumping out, and that ain't my kind of show anymore.
We're in the middle of the Nevada desert, and yeah, it was fun. That was a good trip. Then we came back, and that was that.
So they had this show called Lost Gold. I was just flipping around looking on Netflix, and they had this show, and it talked about guys that go buy stuff in the middle of nowhere, which that's what we do. But they go to like Lost Gold. They go to these old mining places, and sure enough, episode number 1, Eureka, Utah.
Well, did they buy anything good?
They got a couple things. I guess there's a shop over there that has a well inside of the shop.
I stopped at. Here's the thing.
There's nothing there.
I stopped at they have a couple stores, and I was looking for some of my McCormick's things and some of this discontinued things that might be dusty on their shelves, not touched.
Yeah.
I found a few items, but they look at you like, what are you doing here?
You're definitely an outsider.
I got a beard and things. I had a dog in the car. But it's kind of like, well, we know you aren't from around here.
Yeah.
Why are you here? And then the other place was a little more friendly. And then we're like, yeah, let's get out here before the sun sets. Don't let the sun go down when you're this side of town. So Delta was a little more accommodating. They have 2 grocery stores, which, and then I went to some dollar stores. I guess someday I'm going to have to give up all my secrets, but I don't think today's the day.
You got a lot of secrets.
I mean, you follow me on the Twitter and Instagram. I've been posting a lot of bolos, man.
I saw you. I saw what you're talking about.
People are liking them. So at D-Roy Everett, if you want to see what we're talking about, I'll bring them up in the show occasionally. But I'm putting a lot over there, and people are giving it a like. So if you're one of them people that likes internet and eBaying, then why don't you follow me?
I got to ask you a question. I was doing some statistics. Have you ever heard of something called Dog Catcher?
Yeah, it's an app catcher. It's some people are listening to us on it right now.
Yeah, like 30% of everybody listens is on Dog Catcher.
Well, I mean, from that streaming source, we have. See, I set this all up here. We also have our YouTube people that's not reported in there, and our Cast app or whatever that one is. What was that one? Podcast Bean Catcher.
Podbean. That's what.
No, the other one, the briefcase, was all about.
Oh, I don't know.
And we got people over there too. So some of those are independent, not reported. But yeah, that's a podcatcher that catches this fine podcast that you're listening to now. And if you're on the Dog Catcher, why don't you go ahead and subscribe and give us a nice rating? But yeah, there's 30% over there.
We really we need your help. Like I said, you're obviously listening to it. Give us some ratings. Give us some reviews. I want to get to 60. That's the hard, fast number that we talked about.
You listening right now that doesn't think I'm talking to you. You're like, no, they're not talking to me. It's one of those other people listening. No, you that are listening and enjoying this. I think I've listened to 22 episodes and I've enjoyed 21 and a half of them. Go on over to, if you're in the Dog Pound, the Dog Catcher, Google Play, WhatsApp, Spotify, Stitcher, or your Apple iTunes, and just give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a review. We appreciate it. And like I say, week after week, it helps your fellow scavengers / eBayers / resellers find us, and then we're able to go do things like a ballpark or tell you about bolos and what have you. So
yeah, all our Canadian friends, Turkish friends, go on.
Turkish Delight, man. You had Turkish Delight, a big Turk bar. Good.
No, but I have had the San Pete turkey.
Yeah, that's good, but I mean, Turkish Delight.
Never.
That's a treat.
Not familiar with the Turkish Delight.
Well, should we just jump into it? I know we were teasing a little earlier, but let's talk about the sales group. We finally got you and the missus up there to the eBay. What's it called? Sellers Group.
The eBay Utah Sellers Group.
And we're lucky. Like I said, we have it at that eBay campus, which is really cool.
It's a big store, big
and
place.
We had a group show up that was probably the biggest group I've seen.
There was a grundle.
I think a lot of people were there because of the USPS, the post office, showing up. And if you're in the reselling world, you got a bone to pick with the post office. I mean, that's just how it is, right? So these two ladies that came, they sent two ladies, couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
They had their stuff prepared. They did more of a presentation, which is kind of a good and a bad. A lot of information was shared. My wife took great notes, of which I didn't bring tonight.
Scrupulous notes. That pencil was on fire. And
a lot of good information. Kind of my impression was a lot of good information, but it's a bureaucracy, right? The post office, the problem with the post office is somebody would ask a question. The lady would say, "That's a great question," and then say, "I'll come talk to you later," or and just kind of hum around of like, why can't you do this? Well, it's because it's a big organization. I mean, it's government, but not government, because somehow it's all weird. And unfortunately, at the end of the presentation, a lot of it was them trying to push scan forms on us.
Yeah.
And get us to use the post office. I'm thinking, we're already customers. The hard sales job.
It's already done.
You can drop that. I understand that you're showing us this stuff. If it ships, it fits. We know priority mail. I understand they had to do it from a basis of knowing nothing to knowing everything. So they're in the middle, and there was a lot of good information, but a lot of the questions I felt like they just kind of moved around and tried to move on. Not smoke and mirrors, but a little bit of that feel. I don't know how you felt about it.
I kind of felt like we were at like a political debate. Everybody talked in generalities, and there was no specifics.
Well, here's the problem, too. It was like a political debate, but they had... So... I don't want to get into what side you're on, but let's just say you're at a certain side, and they had two people from the opposite side that you can't stand, regardless of what side that was, that you have to work with, though, come and present their case to you, and you have to be kind of nice about it because you're in public with a lot of people. And then there's some people that have a little better feeling and a little better experience, and some that are not, and so they brought up their policies, and you're like, No. No, that's not how it works. You say, I have this problem, and they're like, oh, we've never heard of that. Or why don't you just get on the internet and call these places?
Yeah, call this place.
And the place, and I didn't raise my hand, but I've called those numbers before. You're on hold for 3 to 4 hours. Like, I don't have a quarter of my day to get somebody that's a rude agent that just hangs up on you or passes. You know, it's like the IRS. It's the same.
It's pass the buck.
And so it was good presentation, and like, give it to those women for showing up.
Yeah, they did a great job.
And there's just a kind of a disconnect, I think, from the top to the bottom.
Shout out to Deb Trask and Sara Vinning.
I'm sure they'll come back next year.
Yeah, I'll have their information. Like I said, we'll put it up there. At least at anything, and give us at least a real person who's not like your postmaster.
And a connection. And what surprised me is how many departments they had in the post office. So, like, if this gets lost, contact this department. And if you can't find it and it's Thursday night, you got to contact this guy. But if it's not Thursday night and it was the morning shift, you got to talk to this guy. And my favorite part was when that lady was kind of getting disgruntled a little bit, and she was saying her question or whatever, and the lady gave her whatever answer, and she goes, so they just lied to me, right? What you're saying is they lied to me.
They lied to me. That's not what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just not saying.
Yeah, I can't say. And they did say to a lot of people, I did see if they did or not, but hey, give me all your information afterwards. We'll dig in deep to it. So they did go the extra mile, or seemingly to, and talk to the people. You asked a question. Why don't you break down that?
There was a lot of good questions while we were there, but one of the ones that we'd referred to, because it's happened to my wife and we know other people, is what about the policy for the workers who are smoking in the vehicles? And then they know it's an issue, and obviously the policy is don't do it. But again, it's the same thing. It's like, you don't want to be Uncle Tattletale.
Uncle Tattletale.
But the problem is if you're not, then who's going to be? And it's not like it's a nothing issue. What you do affects me and my business.
Well, the interesting part, I get what they're saying, is, I mean, you're shipping that thing to, like, North Carolina or something, right? So it goes thousands of miles in between in different cars. So they didn't know whether you go to North Carolina and call them up and tell their post person, or if you tell yours. Yeah. And the problem is if it's somewhere in between, how do you get that addressed, right? So,
and you addressed it, and the double bag it. You know, make it to where that smell can't get into it. You get free tape from eBay quarterly.
Yeah. Just seal that thing up good.
Yeah, make it better.
And make it look like it's, I don't know, just, what's that, when you brand yourself or whatever. So,
yeah, your own thing.
So just, those corners and stuff on those poly mailers, probably double bag and then just seal it good, because if you're waiting for the post office to make some changes for your business to be handling better, you're going to be waiting a while.
By then, everything will be delivered by drone, so it won't matter.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of our competition, this and that, and it's like, if it's under £1, we're going with the post office,
exactly.
And even if it's over that, it's just more convenient. So you got the business, but it was interesting.
It was really good. One thing that kind of surprised me, I guess kind of shocked me, was the demographic of the people who were there. I think maybe the one girl that was sitting next to us, she might have been the youngest in the room, but she was probably in her 30s.
Well, on the ride home, you told your wife she was the youngest in the room, to which she disagreed with you.
Yeah, well, the other guy, she might have been 2 or 3
years.
They
were close to our age, but yeah, for the most part, a lot of the people are either people looking to retire, make a little extra money, people with families just try to make a little extra income, that kind of thing, and probably in their
people next to us did it full time. I mean, he said they did 2,800 items, and the year before did like 4,500 items in a year.
I mean, it depends week to week, or I guess month to month, on who shows up. I mean, some months it is a little more of a young group. Last month, I'm trying to think of what the topic even was. Oh, it was when we went around and had little different stations and learning things. But there's a couple, groups more towards our age in the mid 30s, younger 30s. But yeah, a lot of people are in that older age group, which always interests me, because that seems to be the age group of technology where it's like, well, I don't quite get it. It's kind of new to me. I don't know if I can do it, but these people seem to have that attitude of, we'll figure it out. That guy, we were walking out talking to him.
Yeah, older gentleman.
He said he's been coming for almost a year.
Yeah, as long as it's been open.
And he's, just going with it. There's my wife's friend, and she usually sits by us, but you were sitting by us, so I think you scared her off. She's my friend too, but she likes to chat it up. Anyway, she's a flight attendant, and I think she's kind of getting close to retirement, so she flies all over and just kind of buys stuff, I think, as she goes, and makes friends all over. And but she's probably in her down dare guess, I'd say later 50s ish. I'm assuming. Could be wrong. Could be in her early 20s if she's listening.
I guess the point we're trying to make is there's no excuse. Anybody can do it. There's a lot of places to learn how to do it. And again, everything that you're doing, like, you won't learn until you do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking, we're lucky because we do have the eBay right here. They take care of it. There's employees there, good beverages, good snacks. I mean, it's taken care of.
Yeah.
Go ahead and, I mean, either go on Facebook or Google or the Meetup.
Yeah, look for a Meetup app.
Meetup.com.
Yeah. And
just put in your general area of the world or country and eBay Meetup, and you'll be surprised with who's out there. And I know Chicago's got a huge group. California's got several that you just kind of hear about online. So, I mean,
there's a huge opportunity to get into this.
Plenty of places. Not even go there.
We're busting our seams right now.
Yeah, we're laughing if you're not laughing. But so we went to the Meetup group, but that's not even my best news of the week, man. I have to tell you my best news of the week.
You're selling some good bolos. I know that's good.
I'm putting up the bolos. I've been selling a lot, but this isn't even necessarily eBay related.
Uh-oh.
But guess what happened to me?
Uh-oh.
Me and the missus.
I don't know if I want to know.
I won the lottery.
Well, I knew that when you got married.
I won the lottery. So we drive the Priuses. We get lots of crap for driving the Priuses, right?
Yes.
I got an email from the Department of Transportation the other day.
Okay.
It said, "Dear Mr. Everett, do you remember when you bought your Prius that you applied for our clean decal sticker?"
Yeah.
That we only give out about 55 a month for, and that's when people give them up or get new vehicles and don't renew them. And there's like only a couple thousand in existence. Do you remember that?
Can I give you a quick tidbit on that?
Yep.
I do know a guy.
Maybe.
I do know a guy who could have got you one of those, and it probably wasn't the real one, but it still worked.
Well, they said, you and your wife both get one. So send us over our $10 for each, and you can drive in the carpool lane all day, every day, no questions asked. And I said, take my money.
Take my $10.
And I felt like I had just won the lottery because we kind of had. And now I just got to keep a hybrid of some nature so I can keep that little sticker and I can,
You got on the good list.
I can drive. For whatever reason, it just makes you feel good. Like it's like butting in line, like the fast pass at Disneyland or something, right?
You know the crazy thing is when you're driving, early mornings, late afternoons, if you really think about it, every one of those cars only has one person in them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I drive for a living, right?
Yeah.
So I've been all throughout the state and the western states really a lot, and some days I'm just like, why are all these people here? Like, it's not even the end of the day, like, it's not even your rush hour times. No. I'm just like, why is it so busy? Why are all these people not at work?
Mary Wandretti in it.
So, yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Everyone that gave me crap about driving a Prius, well, not only is my gas bill lower, but now I can drive in the carpool lane, no questions asked, so you can all family-friendly show it. And there, that was my best news of the week.
Put it in your pipe and smoke it.
Also, this Sunday, I'm going to be taking me a little trip to the WWE's coming to town, so I got to go do some research for tax purposes on watching that show.
The wrestles.
So me and the wife will be sitting, as they call it, ringside.
Hey, there you go.
Where I say, hit him here, hit him here. So we're having a pretty good week.
You're doing a good week. One thing that... obviously, what we do is catching on, or what you do, what I'm getting into. There is money to be made in this. Okay,
there's a lot of money to be made. Yes,
a lot of money to be made in it, and a lot of people have kind of seen that as different sourcing places, Goodwill, thrift store, Salvation Armies. They begin to increase their prices.
It's not just the glass box anymore.
No,
they're treasures.
They're catching on to it, and the Goodwill is going to attempt to cut out the middleman.
Who's the middleman?
You are. You are the middleman.
Oh, is this about them selling online?
Exactly. They're.
I've bought a Goodwill. There's a Goodwill auction page. Is that what you're getting to?
It's getting better. They've teamed up with OfferUp.
Okay.
Some of these big new tech company things.
Yeah.
And so
OfferUp's a great place to source.
Yeah, this is a great.
Not so great to sell in my experience, but great place to source.
talking about the resale industry is a $24 billion market. And Goodwill alone generates about $4 billion in sales. So what we're doing is a huge market. Huge.
A lot of money out there.
A lot of money, and they're beginning to see that. So what they're doing is they're now taking 100 Goodwill locations, working with OfferUp to go into these larger, or not larger, but I'd say more New York, San Francisco. I don't know why they have Detroit on there.
Shout out to Detroit, a lady that bought my Michelle Obama purse this week.
I did notice he sold a lot of purses.
Michelle Obama, $35 for a purse. Shout out to Mrs. Lady in Detroit that bought that from me. That's why they're getting one.
And isn't that the $2 purse that you bought from Denny's?
Detroit Rock City.
That's your $2 source purse, right?
You can go back in the archives, and I do disclose some things.
Anyways, they're kind of catching on to it, but the number I wanted to take away from that is it is a huge.
All right, I've heard that way too much.
24,
that's like 3 times this episode.
24 billion.
It's big. It's bigly. Bigly.
There's a ton of opportunity.
There's a lot of money out there if you want to get into the reselling game. A lot of money for people to make. I make people a lot of money. Goodwill makes people money. We put it on OfferUp. You come, you make money, you get rich. A lot of opportunity, a lot of opportunistic people. If you're into entrepreneurism, which I invented, you can go there. I basically put Goodwill.com on the map because that's what I do. I make businesses great.
And America great again.
It's still great from the first time, greatest generation, and not dead yet. Getting close, though. Me and the Queen having some coffee. I told her, sell that on eBay. All these jewels, they're worth some things. Your kids are just going to squander it. Put it on the internet and retire. Allegedly.
Wow, I didn't know we were going to have President Trump with an impromptu visit.
I didn't know so either. I got, when sometimes we've talked about this episode we're going to have at Halloween. Sometimes I just get possessed. That's what happens. And I know it was a horrible impression, and you can tell me all about it at DRoy Everett at Twitter or on Instagram, or you can tell Adam Beasley at Adam Up Accounting, and tell him what you really think about that impression at AdamUpAccounting.com. Just chat him up.
I was having problems controlling my bladder functions as you gave us that.
My bladder is bigger than most bladders. It's a really big bladder. The doctors tell me it's the biggest bladder they've ever seen, but I'm having trouble controlling it. But it's huge. It's a very big bladder from what I'm told. Probably the biggest in the world. Maybe not the biggest, but definitely one of the biggest.
Wow. Well,
That's what I've been told by doctors that know things.
Mr. Trump, I appreciate your tax cuts because it's made a lot of people a lot of money.
That's why I make Goodwill money and I make people money. I'm not even talking like Trump. I don't know what this is. I'm talking like those guys in the swamp people down in Alabama. Shout out to people down in Alabama, Louisiana.
We got some listeners down there, so
I know.
maybe they'll appreciate it.
We had some till that. We just lost a lot of listeners right then.
We either lost a lot of listeners. All I know is I've got a good sound bite.
God bless y'all.
As I was listening to it, the good part is our
we're just having fun.
Our normal tech that cuts and splices all our video and does our sound drops. He's not here today.
Wait a minute. I'm right here.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
I was trying to build it up that there was a separate entity.
No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that curtain from the wizard. It's me.
But there's a lot of sound drops of things that we say that if we were like one of those other production shows, I would make a couple of my ringtones.
Yeah, someday. You can dream. They'll still be there because they're online.
They will be dreaming. And the only reason it's going to happen is if we get more listeners.
You want to hear a Jerry Sloan story that sounds better than that Trump invitation.
Oh, man.
No, going back to your thing. So Goodwill has been always inventive and always kind of on the forefront. And people get mad at Goodwill because they're like, their prices are too high, or they're selling things online now. Or I went down to a Goodwill boutique down in Las Vegas, and they got some of those around the country where they put some more expensive things. And the thing that always gets me is, I'm going to Goodwill to buy things that I can sell for more money, right?
Yeah.
So if Goodwill sees that opportunity, how can I begrudge them for doing it with their own stuff that's been donated to them? The same thing I want to do with their stuff that's been donated to them.
Yeah, it's kind of I didn't know I should be doing that.
So, I mean, whether or not you like what Goodwill does with their money, they're a business. I mean, they can do with it what they want. If they pay the top person 6 figures or not, that's their business, right? And you can shop there or not, but they got every opportunity or right to sell their own stuff for as much as they want, as much as you do to go on the internet and sell your stuff for as much as you'd like, in my opinion.
And I guess that's kind of one of the other things that you get at is you talked about sourcing. That's the next month's thing, and we'll get into a little more details. I mean, we talk a lot about those opportunities, but you can find anything, and if you're just starting, I tell you the first place to start is in your own home.
Yep.
One of the things that you talked about that I pulled on as I was listening to the other podcast said most people, if an item's less than $40, they will throw it away.
Exactly.
If they don't need it, they're just going to get rid of it. And a lot of those $40 items, you know what? You can say, I'm either going to throw it out, take it to Goodwill, take it to whatever place, or try and sell it online.
Well, that's the thing. No matter how big these, I mean, because we've talked about this, there's just tons and tons and tons of things. So no matter what Goodwill does with their stuff, there's always going to be things that fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
And you just got to sharpen your sword and be a little better at what you're looking for, what things are worth, right? So you got to just broaden your horizons a bit. So maybe if you're niche on something, learn some other things. So if you're there, you're already at the Goodwill.
Yeah.
You might as well say, okay, they smartened up on jerseys or whatever. But, hey, they don't know video games yet, or they don't know women's dresses or whatever.
Yeah, whatever item.
So that's $40, or that's $20, or that's $10. But this, thing I used to pick up for $100 isn't here anymore.
And I guess the thing is you have to look at it and realize, why are you doing this? Like, what is the purpose of you selling online, okay? Why do you want to do this? If it's to make more money, then you have to make it out to be that and realize, you know what? $10 is $10. And how long did it take you to make that $10? And here's the best part. Did you enjoy what you were doing to get that item, to package that item? It like you said, it's like the slot machine.
For me, it really is. It's very similar to the feelings I get when we went out to play Keno in Ely, Nevada.
Yeah, it gives you that sense of, ooh, I just won something.
Yeah, a little rush. And I mean, obviously you want higher dollar items so you're making more money, but what is your why? Is it just have a little extra, money to go out and eat on the weekend? Cool. Is it to retire and replace a full-time income? Cool.
You better hustle.
But, yeah, those are different things, right? If you need to make $20 a week, you can do that almost not trying.
Yeah.
If you need to make a couple thousand a week, yeah, you're going to have to put some time, you're going to have to put some effort, you're going to have to be a little more on top of it for that. But both of those are possible. And
it is not... there's no science to it. There's no degree to this.
Oh.
It's just, you got to figure it out.
How do we need to go to one of those tech colleges and tell them we can teach a course on how to eBay, and there can be a degree. We can say, come to us and take the course for the degree. And we can charge thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
eBay University. E-com University.
E-commerce, yeah. Don't exclude the Poshmark, the Macari.
And then we'll say, go to this meetup group and take pictures. Here's your degree. Thanks for the money.
Here's your picture. Oh, wait, that's what other places do.
Yeah, we're not like that. We're trying to help people out.
Man, we burned through another half of the show.
Well, I wasn't expecting a presidential drop in there, so that kind of took up a little chunk. Wasn't planned. No, this actually is.
It's all, we just throw it against the wall.
Throw it at the wall and see what sticks, right?
Well, appreciate that. Let's get a little break. Let's sharpen our sword. You put yours back in your sheath, and let's get rocking and rolling again.
All right, I'll sheath her up then.
Money, 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 money.
Thanks for listening to Deathpiles Taxes. This is Adam, your tax man. If you're listening to this podcast, hopefully that means you're selling on eBay. There's lots of things that you should know, and that's what we're here to help you. At Adam Up Accounting, we give you all the insights of what you should be keeping track of, the things you can write off, and how you can help improve your tax business so that you can pay as little as possible, but enjoy spending those profits on things that make you happy. Check us out on our website at Adam Up Accounting. Bottom right-hand corner, you can chat with us right there. Thanks.
My bladder is empty. I knew I'd get you on that one. We are back from the break.
From the sword sheathing contest.
Wow. So, before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about all sorts of things, but mainly, I don't even know what. I'm just confused now, man. What were we talking about?
We're talking about eBay stuff. We're talking about making money, man.
This is eBay and taxes. Okay.
Yeah.
Deathpiles and taxes.
Yeah, it's getting rid of that death pile. You know, we talked about getting yourself into a good space so you want to sell, getting items that you have in your home. Making money, man.
So I got a question for you.
All right.
I'm not sure how to propose this without getting myself in trouble. I've been, the last couple episodes, walking that tightrope, getting that line just to the edge, just like the kid that's at the zoo and getting right up to the lion's cage and almost getting bit, but knows there's, enough space that they can't quite get me, but I'm getting close enough that someday I'm going to get bit by that tiger or lion.
You already know that. Neither one of our wives will even want to care to listen to this anymore.
After our last trip up that eBay Open, we learned that they have not been listening or keeping up, but this isn't wife related.
Okay, all right.
So, and when I go home and say, I hope I'm not in trouble, this is what I said. I didn't edit it out or nothing. It's on the podcast, but
all right,
am I okay?
This is going to be good.
Not that was anything to do with, I didn't name any names whatsoever, right?
That was a good story.
So, okay.
Just come out with it.
I have an individual who likes to ask me a lot of questions, right?
Okay.
And I try to say, yeah, just sell anything. Kind of like how we opened the show, like,
yeah.
Go through your house, go through your garage, go to a thrift store, go to a yard sale, and they're all about this kind of stuff. They like going and buying and haggling. They like all that.
Certainly.
Put it on the internet. They're the younger than me generation.
Okay.
Probably generation after us or so, in that whatever,
Yeah,
20s, right?
Yeah.
Maybe early 30s. They know how technology works. They know how the internet works. Like we said last week, you got the iPhone, you got the internet, you got everything that you need.
You take pictures anyways.
You go to the post office to drop off mail. You have mail delivered to you. I don't know what the missing step is. And so they're telling me about how they have a son who collects these Funko Pops. Are you familiar with the Funko Pop?
Before I met you, no. Now, absolutely. I know what the Funko Pops are.
And I was asking some questions like, how do I know if any of these are, like, how do I know the value, right?
Yeah.
Because that's something I don't know that much about, but it's very popular right now.
And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a small toy that...
It's like an action figure that has a distinct look. They're like squares. They're sold in grocery stores. They're sold in malls. They're sold everywhere, toy stores. Apparently they have limited editions or certain supplies, So... I'm thinking it's trendy. It might be like baseball cards or something to where right now there's some that are probably worth a lot. In the future there might be some that are worth a lot, but a lot of the middle is just going to die out.
It'll be the Beanie Babies of the near future.
So anyways, but in that future, I'm like, how do I know if these are valuable, or when I'm looking at things, what should I be looking at? Well, there's an app for that. So there's somehow a Funko app, right? And you can look up values of things and whatever. But I'm more of a go to eBay guy and search completes and solds because that's where the truth serves at.
Yeah.
So kind of get into that discussion a little bit, and they're showing me some of the higher priced ones, and so they've talked to their kid about, if you collect these, which if you like to do and you're collecting it anyways, go for it, right? Like if you're collecting stuff and that's what gives you joy, I'm not against that. But if you're collecting things thinking, it's like our baseball cards, if you're doing that thinking that you're going to make money off of it in the long run, probably not the best investment. So, at least in my opinion. So I told the son, collect these things, keep them, nice, pristine or whatever. And when you're my age in 20 years or whatever, they'll probably be worth a couple $100 or more than what they are. And so to me, that return on investment is just not that great. Like, they cost, anywhere from 10 to 20, 40 bucks a piece, depending on what they are. You're going to store them in a cart or a crate or put them in a tote and put them away somewhere so you can't even enjoy them. And then you're hoping that when the nostalgia factor hits in 20, 30 years, that you can turn around and sell them and make a couple $100, total on your investment.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of sitting there like, that dog just does not hunt for me.
Okay, so...
But I can't tell you how to raise your kid or what to do. So my theory or my thought is, how do I convince this person that, hey, why are you waiting 20 years? Why don't you get your son invested in that. Now you're telling me that there's a market for it. You're telling me you know how to find the market for it. You're telling me you enjoy going and looking for these things anyways. Why don't you, as a family or your father or son, whatever, go to the stores, look them up, see if they're worth anything, invest and flip them now.
You want to know how? Is it you're to the okay? How do you tell this person without offending them, or
kind of, or do I just let them do their thing, right?
No, you know what you do. You say, "Hey, listen, I started doing this podcast with my buddy. This is exactly what we talk about."
Oh, been there, done that.
You'd say, "Hey, here's his son. His 8-year-old son went to the DI with him, found a mat for $8. They sold it for $250. No joke."
Yeah.
There's no reason to wait.
That's my thing. I just can't see, and I'll talk to other people like, oh, he's selling the internet. You know, maybe I'll, so okay, this is the other thing of people like, hey, I'll buy it, and I know it's worth, you know, let's say $100. I'll buy it for $10. I'll sell it to you for $20. I double my money, and you make $80 off of it. Why? Why don't you just sell it for the $100?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking, I got plenty of stuff. It's not hard to find stuff, as you know, with your new
the Deathpiles
office.
is the
The
hard
finding
part.
the stuff's pretty much the easy stuff, unless you have like access to, like we want to keep talking about Jerry Salone or this rare thing, or your uncle was a professional rodeo rider and he got some rare buckles or something that's of like value that most people can't access. I'm interested in that all day long, every day. At D. Roy Everett, let me know, right? But as far as like this Funko Pop, for example, is worth $40. I will sell it to you for $20, and I bought it for $10.
Yeah.
That doesn't interest me. That doesn't get me off the couch.
No.
Because I got plenty of things worth $40 I'm trying to get to or more.
And they've already spent the money, so to you it's worth zero.
Just make the $40 yourself and say, hey, thanks. That's the part I don't know how to churn and get that connection. Maybe some people just don't have that in them. But then when you hear financial problems or money issues and things, I'm thinking, you can help this out. Like you can, I mean, you'll still have money, debt and stuff still happens, but you can help this out. You got the skills. Like how do you get the motivation, I guess. That's the part where I'm like, you're interested, you like it, what's holding you back?
Just doing it. That's
resolving those conflicts or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I don't know.
I like lemonade. They sell it at the store. I got the money. I know. I go to the store. I look at the lemonade. Just buy the lemonade and take a sip. That's all I want. And then if you say, well, that was too sweet or too bitter for me, I didn't like my experience, I took a couple more sips, not for me. Okay, cool. I get that. I mean, I get that. But the part of like, I like looking at the lemonade on the shelf. Me and my son might make some lemonade in 20 years. Like, just do it, man.
I think a lot of it has to do with it's human nature. It's funny as I listen and I've gone through a lot of the different things. The whole reason we started this is a couple years ago. I started listening to Gary Vee's Entrepreneur. Went from nothing to a lot, and over the last time period, he's kind of shifted the way he does things. It's not a lot more of intense down your throat. It's fixing people. That's the problem. It's fixing people. I don't want to be known as the guy that goes to the thrift store and sells stuff online. I don't want to be caught dead there.
And I guess I don't get that. I guess I just don't have that part in me to where, I mean, I was talking to a friend once about, I went to LA, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, you went to LA, cool. You know, like, yeah, it was fun, you know, told them kind of what we did or whatever. And like, man, I just always feel out of place there. Or I don't fit in. I'm like, why? Like, just clothes and stuff. I'm like, I don't even know. Like, maybe I'm just so stupid and don't pay attention to things that I don't even get. Like, I know when I don't fit into a room or when things get awkward that way, right? But when I'm in a city or in an area or in a business or whatever, I don't really care what I'm dressed like or if I fit in or not. I guess I don't have that thing with me to where I'm in a thrift store. I'm like, oh, not only am I in a thrift store, but I'm making money off of things people like gave up on.
It's one of those weird things. Like, we'll go to so many places to buy things, and everybody's in it to. It's either all about the quality, it's the name of it, or it's like, oh, I got to find it the cheapest place somewhere else.
Well, and I mean,
there's no difference in you than any other brick and mortar store.
Well, these same people will buy something off of. They'll buy it from me off of eBay, and I went and picked it up at the thrift store. Or they'll buy it from me off some other internet site,
Yeah,
or
Mercari
Amazon.
or Amazon,
Everyone
absolutely.
thinks Amazon's its own business. No, it's people like us.
Yeah.
90% of it is people like us sending things in to be fulfilled by Amazon.
Yeah.
And they find it at thrift stores or discount stores or whatever.
Most of it's just drop ship. Like, people don't even get it. Just,
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is, I mean, there's, and someday I keep saying we need to get into the dropship episode, maybe we'll make a note of that, but there's just so many opportunities and so many ways to, like, I can get that you can be overwhelmed by, like, there's a lot to learn, or there's all this stuff I have to know first, because I was there, I get that. But the whole idea of, like, you'll have a yard sale, right? Would
Yeah.
you sell this thing at the yard sale for what you paid for it, or $10 more, or what it's worth, allegedly the worth, and everyone listening's like, don't tell them to sell it for what's worth at the yard sales, because when you go to yard sales and they have the eBay price checkout right there, and
Yeah.
it's not sold, it's what they're asking. I get that, but I'm like, I don't get where that thing is that you don't feel like you can do this, or maybe are you above it, or are you just amusing
Yes.
me? I don't know.
No, it's not that you're above it. It's that you don't want to try anything different. We all get comfortable and we're in our own thing. Like, that's kind of the idea in people's life. Is I go home, I do this, and I do that.
And maybe it's getting that little hit of it, because, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do it or not if I didn't try that poster and have that first hit of, like, wow, there's money to be made here, and then, years of trying to figure out how to make money with it.
I mean, it's been, that was like 10, 12 years ago, right?
2004, I believe.
And, we obviously, we don't talk direct numbers and stuff, but I've done your taxes. I mean, you've sold well over, in that time period, you sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
That's what they tell me. That's what the government says.
Like, we're not just talking like 10,000. We're talking hundreds of
Between
thousands.
this and you telling me that I'm the best stock guy, it embarrasses me.
That's the truth. I mean, your
Yeah.
retail store is you in your garage, in your home, selling stuff, and there are 6 digits in what you sell.
Over that period of time, I've done
Yes.
more money than people would believe.
Yeah.
Extremely well, and I'm not even the top of the pyramid.
No, I mean, you're just a guy figuring it out, and if you try, you will do it. And that's the same thing we kind of talked about. Is it's one of those things. I guess it's kind of like a diet. Okay, we all say, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get skinny. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start eating right. But
I my cabbage and my what's your vinegar? Red
Apple cider
vinegar with the mother in it.
And it's hard, and that's why, because you do it for a little while, and you're like, not gonna do it today.
I guess, yeah, that's true. That's a good analogy.
You're like, well, and even then, like, some people they'll never start. Like, they don't care.
But it's like you can see, like, I guess, you see the results.
And there's benefits to it, but
A lot less effort.
even when you do it, like, it just takes time, and it's hard.
That's the thing, just getting you to take the first bite, the first step, the first whatever. Maybe I'm an eBay trainer. Ooh,
eBay trainer, huh?
E-commerce trainer. eBay's going to sue me.
I don't think
I keep saying that I do all this stuff for them.
We've never really gone sourcing together since I've got involved in this.
I'll show you all my secret spots, and then I say, hey, where you pick that up at? And you tell me a spot. I'm like, oh, it's that one. What about this over here? Oh, no. And then when I asked you, hey, where'd you get this? You're like, I'm not telling you. And then you did. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. It'd be kind of fun.
I think we ought to give that a whirl.
I think, and I'm always down for listeners, and maybe we'll figure out something. I'd like to go sourcing with the listeners, see what they know, what we know.
We still got to hit up the bins together.
The bins, my wife, so it was funny. We were coming back from that eBay event, right? And for some reason, the bins got brought up, and she's just like, we don't go there. It's dirty. I'm never going there. I'm like, we found some good stuff there, but it's an interesting place, and if you got bins in your area, it's interesting. But there's treasures to be had. That's the other thing. When you're out sourcing and stuff, and people say, I don't find good stuff or whatever, you gotta dig, right? If it's right on the top, somebody's already found it and grabbed it.
Yeah.
So you got to do a little digging. If you're at the bin, you got to do some treasure hunting. You got to dig for that gold. So, and sometimes that gold is a soiled pair of pants that ended up there somehow.
So going back, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. Going back to the guys that had this lost gold show that they go to old mining towns and find stuff. Okay.
This is right up Denny and Lamar's alley.
We'll have to give them the thing. Check it out.
They might be watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Vintage Levi jeans.
Funny you should say that.
Like old ones.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Old. I mean, like literally, these were beat up, like buried, like $2 grand.
Yep. If you got the biggie, the biggie on the Levi, there's a secret for you. When you're out looking at Levi's, there's a certain year where it went from on the red tag on the butt, where it went from big E in Levi to a small E.
Okay.
Now we got small E's. The big E's are the big E smalls are where the money's at on a Levi. Yeah, some of that's worth a whole lot. I know back in the 80s, early 90s, Japan, for whatever reason, really got into Levi's. And people were making a lot of money. I've sold some denim jackets and stuff you find at yard sales. So one of my customer complaints this week with eBay was I was trying to list a pair of some jeans, some Levi 505s, I believe they were.
Okay, the button fly?
The button fly for a larger gentleman. These were actually a zipper fly. And when I put in my thing to auto-populate, so you put it into...
Hold on, you just said you put your thing in it?
Well, yeah, you got to try it on.
Okay, gotcha.
For a larger gentleman. When I was listing it, I put my description and my title in it, and it changed my title and would auto-populate it with like this different pair of jeans that was a whole different size and different pictures.
All right.
And so, once again, I call up the customer service place because I'm like, I figured it out. I just tagged it myself, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just made sure it wasn't going in the catalog, and I just put, like, enough that it wasn't going to grab it, then I just made up my own listing. So I call up the place, and it's not the American people, and I'm trying to explain to them what has happened. And just like you, they're like, well, will you put your thing in it? I'm like, no. I'm telling the whole story. I don't understand what you're saying. I typed the description, and your thing automatically made it be a different description. That's not my thing, and then it logged a lot of the information so I can change it to make it accurate. So if somebody buys this thing, it's not going to be the thing they're buying. Well, it shouldn't be doing that. Yep.
I know that.
That's why I've called you. So 40 minutes later, some supervisor on the line, I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to help you guys out at this point. I figured it out during this phone call. I fixed my own problem. The problem is that your agents aren't understanding what I'm saying, and it's locking information, so I can't make this an accurate description. So the next guy that comes and tries to put in 505 jeans for a husky gentleman is going to get this and not see that's been this problem. And a skinnier gentleman's going to think they're buying some 505s, get some 501s, and it's going to be, for the slim man, and the husky man's not going to be too happy with that purchase. Shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
So
I know, I just told you that.
So their thing was, what you should do is just go do it on the website then. Don't do it on your phone. I said, no, what you should do is fix your app. That's what you should do. So this doesn't happen. Just letting you know, I figured it out.
There you go.
And I didn't bring it up at the meeting to anyone because I was on good behavior day.
You didn't say a single word.
No, a lot of times, so I like to listen.
You're going to sit back, and I'm trying to learn that.
I like to listen. I don't like people to know what I know or like think I'm the expert because I want to learn from them and I want them to be intimidated and be like, oh, this guy has a podcast and makes 6 figures over whatever years. Because I pick up good information from these people and I'll share some things too. I got a little heated that the month before, they started talking about the post office, and I derailed about my story with my post office men, and that's when they said, well, we're going to have to be nice next month when these people come.
You got all Newman on them.
That's when I'm like, they'll probably will be there, he'll ask some questions, I'll just chill out, and Holly's taking my notes, so. But a lot of it I just like to go and learn and observe, because you might think you have it made and know a lot, but there's people, and they might be new even, and they'll say something, you'll be like, I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
Not only is that going to save me a lot of time, that's going to make me a lot of money. To where if they're kind of intimidated or think you know it all, or you have this ego, or maybe they think you're competition or whatever, they're not going to tell you. So
here's a funny thing, is we're a part of, like, the groups, like on the Facebook group, just because I do the same thing. That's where I get a lot of my information, just kind of lay in the weeds. People get really upset when, like, you post something and they're saying, well, why would you spend that much money on that product?
Yeah.
Like, this person says, I mean, we're talking like, there was a ton of baseball cards for $100. And they put on there, hey, what do you think? Man, it's like 20, 30, 40 people, like, complaining or saying, that's stupid or this. I'm like, you can't get into another business that you could learn an opportunity. It might not pay off, but I guarantee you could make back your $100, and you would learn the aspects, the important things of why I won't ever spend this much money on something else, or find a diamond in a rough. But you're buying, like, lessons. You're paying for your degree.
Yeah, if you're willing to do the work, if that's something that interests you and you want to go through all the cards, why not? There's going to be some rookies in there. There's going to be some of value. The problem is people will overvalue and think, oh, I found this, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. I always like to say Ken Griffey Jr. Frank Thomas rookie card, right? it's not graded, it's not who knows what condition, and they'll say, and it's worth $300. And no, there's a process and thing you need to go through to get it worth what the max value might be. But you got to learn that, like you're saying. If that's something that interests you, why not?
So that kind of, what are you paying for? What are you getting? Just pulled up a quick little search. I mean, the average cost of college for actual tuition and fees is $10,000 a year. That's just for that. Why don't you kind of take an opportunity like this to start a business? That's what you're doing. You're starting a business, seeing what will work, what won't work, and you're not going to know until you try.
If you're the kind of person that sees all those baseball cards and thinks, oh, I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to list all that. I don't want to learn all that. Then, yeah, don't buy it. But if you're asking a group of people, and this is so earlier today, right? Or no, it was yesterday. There's some wrestling stickers.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, Derek's your wrestling guy.
Exactly.
And put me that way.
Yep.
And I'm kind of talking to the guy and telling him my thoughts on it. And he gets to the point where he's like, well, how much would you put them for?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is what I would do. And he's like, well, so you do an auction? I said, no, this is what I would do. I'd, price them high and see what happens if you're comfortable and sitting for a while, because they're old, they're kind of rare. It could be a good thing for you. If you want to do a fast flip, cool, you can do that. Well, how much would you put them for? At the end of the day, I am a guy on the internet, right?
Yes.
Like, me and Adam are sitting here talking to you. We are just guys on the internet. We're, nothing special. We do it, but why does my opinion matter that much to you that, like, just try and put up for $5,000 if you want. Put up for $2 if you want. What's it worth to you? How much time are you invested in it? If you can't find comps and stuff, it's probably not as rare as you thought. Or it might be extremely rare. But you can get that kind of information from me. But if I tell you $25 and you sit on for a year, you can say, that Derek Everett's full of crap. Or if I say $5,000 and somebody, will have paid 10 or whatever. It's like, ultimately, in these groups and stuff, and you're asking people opinions, they're just people on the internet like you. They might be people in competition with you that don't want you to get those cards because that's what they're selling. Or they might just be, like, amused that they're just messing with you. Like,
people do that.
Grain of salt it. Like, I put up a picture today, and it was getting some traction. This guy was trying to sell a Susan B. Anthony dollar for $800, right? And people...
They don't know if you're serious.
People are losing it. And I'm like, no, I'm just showing you, like, people will put this on the Facebook Marketplace, and cool, if that guy wants to ask that and somebody pays him $800, I'm all for that if that's what he wants to do. It's just crazy that you'll see what people put up sometimes. And then other people are like, well, this obviously can't be real. Well, do you think I'm hoaxing this? Do you think I got nothing better to do than make my own posting and put it on your Facebook group to show you this? Like, obviously this isn't real. Well, where did where do you think I got this from, right? Like, I go to your groups just to mess with you? Or then, like, well, this obviously isn't worth this price. Like, that's kind of the point of the post. So, and everything in between. But at the end of the day, he's a dude on the internet trying to sell something. I'm a guy on the internet trying to sell something. And if you can sell a Susan B. Anthony dollar for $800, more power to you, but it's kind of ridiculous.
There's tons of opportunities everywhere.
I mean, just so when you're online in those groups, just a grain of salt that these people are they're just people like you. Some of them have done it a lot longer and have some knowledge. Some of them probably started after you and don't know what you're talking about, but like to sound opinionated.
And that's all it is. It's one man's opinion. And it's funny because we oftentimes people get discouraged, and that's why people don't go out and try something new. It's because we all don't want negative vibes or bad feelings.
Yeah.
We're all anti-confrontational until it's on the internet, and I become this big bad Trevor Hooper, and I can say anything and do anything to anybody.
Shout out to Trevor Hooper. I don't have a story about Trevor Hooper on the internet yet.
Well, it's because
I don't know if
it's because you can't find him because he uses a different name.
Yeah, so I sent him a text message because if you've been listening to the show for a little bit, I've been telling some Trevor Hooper buddy grown-up stories last couple of weeks. I'm like, you cool with this? Like, I know I've been telling some secrets out there, and there's some stories or whatever, and I guess he's getting caught up now, so we'll see in a couple of weeks if I come in with a black eye or I'm missing. Trevor Hooper was not good with those stories.
Yeah.
It's a tough guy on the internet.
Tough guy on the internet. Who cares? Like, if I took the first no that everybody gave me, I wouldn't be married right now.
Well, that's very true. Now, that's the other thing. These people aren't paying your bills. If you're on here to make a little extra money and take your wife out for dinner, they're not going to pay that for you. So why do you care what they say? Or if you're paying your rent or getting your kid through college or getting your kids braces or going on vacations or whatever you're doing it for, whatever your why is, or what you're doing it for your season tickets for your games coming up.
Yeah.
These people that are telling you no, or that you're an idiot, or like just the internet trolls, they aren't going to pay you when you're right. They're not going to say, oh, congratulations, here's $1,000. They're going to be the guys saying, I'll give you $10 for it.
So funny story. Like, so we'll get into these kind of back and forth. The whole thing, like, Derek sells some good items in the marketplace during Christmas time. During December, it's kind of, it's his busy month.
It's coming up.
It's his tax season. Right now, people, it's summer. You got to fill up your carts, load up your wagons. Sales are going to be a little slow because, like, so we talked about it. I mean, they're out doing summer things. Buying stuff isn't. Yeah, you can still do well right now, but overboard, over
everything. Time to get the pantry full.
Yeah, load it up, because things are going to pick up August, September, October. I mean, start thinking about things.
When the floodgate opens, you don't want to be there without the boat and just a paddle.
There's a reason they call it Cyber Monday.
Black Friday. Cyber Monday.
You better start getting ready for it. And if you think about, that's what stores do. Like, they're buying their Christmas stuff like in February, March. They're getting ready. Okay. So a lot of Derek stuff is in December time. He sells a lot of toys, a lot of different things, and there are some trolls on the interwebs.
So much so that last year my wife asked me not to put it on Facebook because she was fearful that somebody was going to attack or hurt me.
So Derek was selling items that were hot, toys that were hot, that he knew were going to be a supply shortage. And he knew he could sell it for more than what he paid for it, just like anyone else. But there were some severely upset people because he was a scoundrel and a Scrooge, because he was buying things and selling them higher than what he should be, because my kid couldn't afford that toy because Derek Everett's going to the store and buying all of them.
Oh, the problem is that, I went to the same, I had to have a secret supplier, right? I couldn't just go and take them off the shelves before they got there because that wasn't possible. Well, they didn't know as I was doing this in September and October. Well, they hadn't even known. I know what your kid wants for Christmas before they know most years, because it's all marketing. It's out there. Maybe I'll do an episode about it closer to the holidays on how to, identify items.
Yeah.
Or maybe I will after the holidays, so next year so I can gouge you 20-fold.
One of the things and this is why it's stuck, somebody called Derek a scumbag.
Oh, I am a scumbag.
You are a scumbag, and it got pretty heated. Like, it got to the point where it's like, really, dude? Like, this is my job. Like, I make money. Why don't you go yell at the people at Walmart for buying it low and selling it high?
Well, my problem is, too, I always say to these people, because the reason I engage, because people say, well, why do you engage? Because it bumps you up, especially in these Facebook groups. If you talk, it bumps you back up to the top of the page, right? So if you're at the top, more people see it, and they're not scrolling down. So for me, it's advertising. And I get that.
Yeah.
And these people don't, because they're just haters or whatever. But this one gentleman, and I usually end up blocking people, and I've been kicked off sites or whatever, because I'll usually go back and forth, and then the item sells, and then I just block the people. I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
And so this gentleman was all upset. Oh. I thought we were in the good part of town.
Hey, now,
it's been a couple weeks since we've had a siren go off.
We are in the good part of town.
And so
right by the fire department.
This gentleman, he was, I think it's probably when you're thinking about it, I think it was the scumbag guy. He was all fit to be tied, and, he's going to teach me a thing or two. And I said, well, why don't you buy everything from me at cost then? If you're just going to give it to kids, I'll sell it all to you for cost. And, well, how much would it be? And I said, well, I'd have to go through, you're buying everything I own, all my inventory at cost, so I'm even. And then you go distribute it like Santa Claus to all of the world, right? I'll add it up. I got some, I got my tax guy. I think that's where I threw you in there. My tax guy will write up something. You'll just come over with your truck. We'll load up my back room, and you'll just take everything, and I'll break even, and you can go give it away to the homeless kids, whatever, you feel is right in your heart. Well, how much are we talking? And I think I just made up a number. I said, $20,000.
Yeah.
Well, I don't got $20,000. Well, just come on over. You'll buy everything. You'll distribute it out to the world. You'll be the good guy because I'm a scumbag.
You are.
Well, I don't got that. Well, I don't have that. And I'm like, exactly. I'm risking $20,000 to profit and try to make money of a business, right? I said, you go to work, you work for minimum wage. Well, no. Why?
I remember that.
Why
now.
not? because I got skills. I think this guy was like a.
He was.
He was like a.
He was like a
heavy machinery type operator.
That's right.
I can drive a bobcat. I can dig earth. I can move earth. I'm like, cool. I got a CDL too, buddy. I can do all this.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm doing right now. Well, why would I work for minimum wage? Exactly. Why would I work for minimum wage? If something's more valuable, you got skills, you want to get paid equal to your skills. Well, what skills you got? I said, I go and buy toys for parents that are too busy working to go to the stores, and they'll pay me 5 times for that so their kid has a Merry Christmas. Well, that's just wrong. I said, well, go work for minimum wage for your boss then, because he's got kids that need food and stuff for Christmas, and you put those on the table, right? Like, you're doing the same thing, just in a different way. So, anyways, that was one guy. One guy was going to come find me and, rough me up a bit, and it's interesting in private messages what people send you over. There's all about the kids and all about being good, and then you'll get a blue streak that you can read on, internet radio stations of just filthy words of what I am. So
it's just funny. People get all ticked off and they engage in this, and you're just like, just move on, and you're not buying the product. Who cares?
Well, that's the thing. That's the other thing. I'm just like, just keep scrolling, man. You don't have to buy it, right?
No,
if you see something, and if you see the quarter that somebody's asking $5 for, you don't have to tell them they're an idiot and a moron. They'll never get that for them. You can think that.
Yeah.
But keep scrolling. The second you put that down, you're boosting that to the top of the page for the whole world to see. You're helping your problem.
The most valuable asset in the world is time, and you're wasting it on something that means nothing to you, but people like putting into negative energy because it makes them feel better about themselves.
Or that time of the year. If you want to get to the store before me, buy it. Do it.
Get it.
Buy the whole shelf. Go give it to,
get out and do it.
Toys for Tots. God bless you. That's a good thing to do.
That is.
I'm not against any of that. Go do it.
Yeah. And let's be honest. I mean, you do a lot of that.
Well, that's the other thing I don't tell
people.
You don't. But, that's the other thing. I'm like, how do you not know? Maybe I'm doing that. Maybe I'm giving all of this to charity. Maybe I'm making this money to give it to Sub for Santa. Like, it could be a lot of different things that people have no clue.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of upsets my wife, because they're like, I don't take it personal, right? I'm like, I'll egg it on. Sometimes I get a little upset, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, I know I'm a good person. I know what I do. She kind of takes it more personal, like, you're not that person, though. You're not that. That's not how you are. They don't know all this good stuff. They don't know what you do.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't care. It's like going to the L.A., I don't care if they don't think I'm dressed the best or whatever. I don't fit in. I don't care if they think I'm a scumbag, because I know what I do.
Yeah.
I'm on the internet educating people on how to do it and make themselves financially free.
Yeah.
And how much money are we getting paid to do this podcast?
We're having a good time. It's not about money.
We're not making money. We're just trying to help people.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And if I can pay my bills, that's a good thing too.
Yeah, we're here to help. We're helping, helping
Heaven
each other.
knows if they knew about the M&Ms.
Oh, I know. Which I was going to, what I think I'm going to do? Oh, man. Do you think Waddy's going to hear this before the game Monday?
I thought so. I know what you're going to do. Go ahead and say it.
I think I'm going to just sneak in a bag of M&Ms. And the game. Hey, Waddy, here's some M&Ms. Because we've got some.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
I was thinking, that's just going to be like, here's $20 of M&Ms, buddy. You got to eat them, though. You got to eat them. Yeah, I don't know if he'll catch up or not. I know he was on episode, because I was texting him the other day about the game and stuff, make sure it's all going down. He's like, it's so weird to be texting to you while I'm hearing you on the podcast talking to you. Whatever, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, like I said, we're having a good time. The whole reason, like I said, why we're doing this is for anything, it's for us an opportunity to just share a little bit of our knowledge. And even whether if it is eBay, it's e-commerce, it's anything. If you are an entrepreneur and you own a business, there's a whole aspect to it that you may be neglecting. Every business owner has a partner. And that partner is who, Mr. Everett?
It's huge.
Yes, it would be the...
We're very, 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 very big. Bigly.
It's the IRS.
I own them.
You do own them. They are either a silent partner, and you don't hear anything from them. All you do is send them a check, send them money, and you never hear from them, and everything is good.
Or sometimes they send you a check, and it's even better.
Exactly. Well... You always want to pay taxes. In that case, you would have planned well, paid more than what you get.
Hey, let's talk. I know you're going somewhere, but let's talk quarterly taxes, right?
Oh, that's a good question.
So what's the benefit of somebody doing what we do and paying your quarterly taxes and putting that money aside and doing it that way versus just doing your yearly?
Depends on how much money you owe.
So where's your kind of some good
So,
points to be looking at if
what
you're on the fence about this.
What the IRS determines is if you ever owe more than $1,000 at the end of the year, you will pay a penalty.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if you're a W-2 job, if you own your own business, whatever it is. If you owe the IRS more than $1,000, then you will have to pay that money. Okay. So that's kind of the way they look at it, and they're going to fine you, give you some penalties. So that's what the IRS encourage you. I just met with somebody today, and they owed money, and I've encouraged them to pay quarterlies, and they don't, which is fine. Like, you just pay a penalty. It's not a huge sense, but it could be $20, $200, $300, $400, that depending on how much money you owe. But it just saves you money.
So ultimately, it just saves you a little bit on the back end.
Yeah. But again, getting into where your quarterlies come in, if you're a pretty good-sized business, you're going to pay self-employment tax. And that's where the quarterlies kind of really kick in, because at your regular job, you have federal withholding and state withholding. Okay, if you were just doing this and the amount of money that you sell, because you kind of, the money you have withheld on your other check kind of makes up for what you make from your other sales, you would owe a lot of money because you have to pay payroll tax. Every time you look at a paycheck, you may have thought you made $1,000, but you don't, because Uncle Sam gets his money.
You always get some dirty fists in there.
He always gets money.
Keep your dirty fists out of my money.
But if you look at it, that's payroll tax, Social Security, and Medicare. Okay. When you're self-employed, you don't have any withheld, and you have to play both sides, employee and employer. So come the end of the year, and I know there's a lot of people listening to this, you owe a lot of money.
Yes.
You might owe $2,000, $3,000, $15,000, $25,000.
Make it stop, Frumpy. Make it stop.
Well, like I
I'm a
said,
good person.
if you owe that much money, it's a good thing because it means you're making a lot of money.
Stop the bleeding.
But if you're like most people, you don't plan well. And if I come in and say, well, hey, Mr. Johnson, you had a great year, I kind of have like this routine. I like to play with people.
It's not like that man that was playing Twister with your son at the park, right?
No, come on now. That was chess.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I always pull in the, depending on which person it is, because the tax laws are a lot better. And I say, man, Derek, I know you're, well, I won't get into that.
Well, what do you know about me?
Anyways, I try and build them up saying you had a great year. Man, you did amazing. This is the greatest you've ever done. You owe $7,000.
By the way... and you did awesome, and hey, that check too.
Yeah. Most people, they get kind of like, oh wow, I didn't realize it was going to be that much. So I always encourage, and this is what we do with a lot of our business owners now. We have those taxes come out every single 2 weeks, or we make a quarterly payment for them.
That way you're breaking it up so the $7,000 doesn't seem so big at the end of the year. You're biting it off.
My job...
You're eating that the elephant, is that one bite at a time,
Yes.
instead of all at once?
What we try and do is April 15th, we don't like big refunds, we don't like big checks, we want to try and break even.
That's why I've always learned that, or heard that's where you want to be, is kind of that sweet break-even spot if you can be. If all of this confused you, or you just got a headache or don't want to deal with it, but think that's something you might need to look into, AdamUpAccounting.com, and you just heard the man and just say, yeah, that stuff you're talking about, I think we might be there.
If you own your own business, there's no reason that you shouldn't. I mean, that's all I do all day. I call people and I talk with them about their situation, and we find out if they're a good fit. Because there's a lot of people now, I found my sweet spot. I found my niche. And I don't try and go outside of it. If there's somebody who doesn't fit our niche, I refer them to somebody else. But a lot of people we fit. And we come in and say, listen, we're going to be here for you. We're not just going to be here on, April 10th. We're going to be here all year round. Let's take care of your bookkeeping. Let's do your quarterlies, your payroll. Let's do your taxes. Let's give you some advice saying, hey, Easy Evie, you got a lot of stuff coming in. You better buy that new computer. Or you really need, you're making enough money that we could justify a larger space. That's the kind of the decisions that we try and help make, because you may know what they are, but unless you have numbers to back that up, it doesn't matter.
Hey, but if the IRS owes me a couple $1,000s, they start paying me quarterly dividends, right?
Fake news.
How's that happen? That should be going both ways, right? This is like the post office bureaucracy all over again.
It's been that way forever. You would if they owed you. Yeah, it just...
I just thought I was making it funny. I didn't know there was a possibility that they could have to pay me.
Everything with business is maybe.
Maybe.
there's a situation where maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Hey, did I talk about sending offers last week? I can't remember if I
You
did.
did talk about sending offers because I listened to it.
I'm telling you, that is an amazing feature. If you're not doing that, now there's multiple ways to do this, right? So that you can go to your store and you go to your active listings, and there's a little button on your active listing that says send offers or eligible for offers or something like that, right? And then it'll give you a list of whatever. The more items you have in your store, obviously, the more offers you're going to be able to make, and it goes to people that are watching your offers. And I don't know all the science about it, if it sends it to everyone or just a select few of those people. But that's one way. On your app, there's a different spot where if you're looking at your listings, it'll say send offers. And you can send it through them, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you're just scrolling through your active listings, there'll be a way that says send offers on some of them, right?
Yeah.
So just being able to send, so I'll see this shirt and say, man, that's been sitting there for a while. Oh, I got it for $30. I probably paid under $5 for it. I mean, you kind of know what you paid for things most of the time. And I'm like, I just want to move that. I'll offer it to somebody for $25, $24. They see this thing, they're getting $5 off. There's 10 of them watching it. Things have been moving pretty good that way.
So you're saying you like that offer?
During this summer slowdown right now, when people are saying, I can't move stuff's not selling, stuff's not going, you got to be proactive about it, right?
We'll get into the real economics, okay? We'll get into the Econ 101. All of the things that you have are sunk costs.
Sure.
You've spent the money.
Yeah, it's already out there.
It's gone.
Yeah, you're trying to recoup, right?
It's like, okay, so what? You spent $300 on this item 2 years ago and you've been sitting on it. Guess what? That $300 is gone. If you sell it today, you just made $200.
If you realistically think, I mean, there's some things where I'm like,
yeah, obviously,
that's going to make me I'll wait.
Yeah.
That's going to wait. But there's, like some of my cards the other day, I'm like, I've already spent the money. I know I've spent. I'll, lower it $5-10, whatever, and just sell. I'm like, what am I doing? Why have I not been doing more of this?
Here's the thing. People do it with, like, the stock market. They get into these. You have to look at it like, what are you really doing? Everything you have is a stock. It's a specific item. Yeah, you know what? Microsoft, you might have paid $100 for, but it dropped to $50, and you sell it for $50. Like, okay, you just pulled out, $5,000. Yeah, it was probably worth $10,000, but do you really care?
Well, it all depends how hungry you are at this time, right?
Exactly.
Do you want the space? Do you want the money?
Is there a reason you're doing that? Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to like, well, you know what? We really want to, take our kids to Disneyland. We're $500 short, and that's the thing. People don't budget anymore, so it's like, I'll put it on the credit card anyways. Yeah. But if you really get to that point and you start like knowing that this is how we're going to live, take some of those items that have been sitting around and sell them.
I mean, give it a try, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be, in my mind, you should be pricing your items high enough that there's a little wiggle room. Most of my things have offers anyways, but that's where I'm like, maybe they're not going to send me the offer. Maybe they forgot they're even watching this item, right? But I'm going to send them this thing and say, hey, if you're interested in this, flyer's been inverted and he's backing up. Just letting you guys know, if you hear that beeping, the fire is out and he's backing up.
We live in a wonderful area. We just live right next to the fire department.
Hey, Cole hasn't came back. If you listen to that episode, he was pretty scared. I mean, we have to start doing these episodes earlier and earlier for safety concerns. The fire's been averted.
You are a scumbag.
But I'll sell you something for cheap, man. So and people see that and they say, oh, he wanted $40 for it, now he'll sell it to me for $20. That's a great discount.
Psychological thing.
Yeah, that goes too. So if you're in the summer slowdown and you're having problems selling things or things aren't going for you, try that. I mean, you got competition. You got to be proactive about it. You can't just, I know I say set it, list it, and forget it, which is kind of true for some items, but other things it's like, you got to make hay while the sun's shining too. The old Jerry Sloan saying, right? So
make some money. Well, we're fast coming on the end.
Are we all right to the end?
We're every one time we do these shows keep getting longer.
I know. That's why people have to pause. Let us know if you like them longer or shorter.
Yeah.
Because, the hour's about the sweet spot, and then we always just keep going.
We've been going an hour and a half lately.
So either way, just let us know what you think about it. You know how to find us because I've told you 20 times in this episode, so I'm not going to keep hammering that down.
You've already been listening to it. Just get on there, get on the Instagram, the tweet machine.
And each week my list gets bigger and bigger, and I cross off a few things, but it's always, and then you say, what else you got? And I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to do this now. So,
well, I'm getting a little excited. I'm going to go see if I can get some Toronto Raptors stuff.
Oh, is that who you think's going to win it?
It's tonight.
As of right now, we don't know.
We don't know.
There's probably a lot of Toronto Raptors stuff that would be fairly affordable right now.
Oracle Arena swag. Tonight's the last game they're ever going to be paid there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's a new place?
New place in San Francisco.
I wish Seattle would be happy for that.
They do. So that nostalgia, that NBA Finals, the NHL stuff, sports is big. Sports is a big market.
That's your niche. That's me and Adam are into that thing. I know some people could care less, but I saw somebody trying to sell an old piece of the Salt Palace floor for just a crazy amount of money. The Salt Palace where the Jazz used to play. It was
I saw a Utah Flash jersey last night.
Oh yeah, was it Maurice Allman?
No, it didn't have a name.
No, that's probably a lot of them didn't.
Yeah, it didn't have a name.
Yeah, some of that stuff you get your D League or you get your minor leagues, but yeah, we got the XFL starting up again. I got some XFL stuff I'm trying to sell from the original time.
He hate me.
You got all the championships going down.
Las Vegas Wranglers.
You got football season starting before we know it. College football starting before we know it.
I'll have to let you know how my Alabama koozies do.
Baseball's going well right now. I mean, it's always a season for something. If you're not finding something to sell, you're not looking hard enough.
And do it with what you like.
Outside the box, right?
Do something you like.
And the same, like, so if I put on the internet the things I sell, if I put my wrestling cards up there, just my random ones and said, hey, should I buy these for $10? And people go, oh, who would pay that? Blah, 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 blah. I'd have cards that are worth a few $100s. They just don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Maybe I'll try that as an experiment this week.
So we're talking about cards. Derek has did you buy the full 52 card deck or did you buy individual cards?
So that's a funny story.
Do we want to get into it tonight or next week?
Yeah, we might as well. They're still listening. So I don't know if I want to share this. Actually, I'll share it anyways. I've sold most of it. I might want to repeat this.
I was looking at your store as I was sitting there in the eBay thing because I was getting bored.
Yeah.
I tend to do that sometimes.
Sure.
The USPS and
it's good just to learn other people's stores that sit next to hey, what's your store and look through stuff. You learn, right?
And I don't do any of the shipping. My wife does.
That's also what he does during church is he just scrolls his phone.
Hey.
Allegedly, if you go to church.
They're all Jesus stories.
I'm just trying to make a joke.
Well, it's the truth.
Okay. That will set you free. There you go. That's your church for the year.
All right. Funny story. Tell us your funny story.
Well, it's not really a funny story. It kind of is and kind of isn't. So, as we've talked about ad nauseum, I like pro wrestling. I grew up watching pro wrestling, right? And so...
You're looking very Hacksaw Jim Duggan-ish
I am looking Hacksaw. I need to look good for the front row. Maybe they'll tag me in, brother.
Yeah.
And so... my dad used to take me when they come to town for like a birthday or something. If it was around that time, he'd take me, and that's weird. He's not into it at all. It's not his thing. Usually my brother would tag along or something because you got to. They don't. I mean, I don't know if my brother had a good time or not, but I might as well have been not only in Disneyland, but like Mickey Mouse himself. Like, that was my jam. Still kind of is, but at that time, it was better than anything I could ever imagine to go see Hulk Hogan or whoever. I saw Ric Flair and Rowdy Piper in a cage match for the belt.
There you go.
That somehow, I don't know how this happened, but Ric Flair did not win the belt, and the next day on TV he had the belt back. I don't know how that happened. Must have been out in the parking lot.
The magic curtain.
Out in the parking lot. Ric Flair must have pinned him.
So all of these things that he's talking about, he has he has several playing cards, like a deck of cards that has a person.
So when you're there, you have to get something, right?
Yeah.
You have to get a souvenir of some nature.
Yeah, of course.
And so my dad, being the guy that he is, I'm sure he didn't look for the most affordable thing and something to be durable and last.
Yes.
So he bought me a pack of those cards.
Wow.
So I had these playing cards, and we'd play solitaire, poker, whatever. 21. Growing up, those were my cards I used a lot. And what they were is they had like a wrestler's face on them, like Hulk Hogan's the Ace of Spades, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan's the Five of Diamonds or whatever, or all the diamonds.
I think he's more like a Jack of Diamonds. He's more higher up the belt than a five.
Anyways, Miss Elizabeth obviously was the queen,
okay.
And so he bought me this item and whatever. So it's in my brain, it's in my head, and then I learned that people in Australia like we have trading cards and stuff. Australia is really big on if you can get old, not playing cards. I guess we have baseball sporting cards as well, meant to be collector cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards. Australia, for whatever reason, from what I understand, collects playing cards, and the older, the more valuable, full deck. That's their thing. And so I thought, wait a minute, I'm selling wrestling cards. what about those cards, right? So I'm kind of doing my investigation, looking into things. I got my user thing to the PSA that shows me every card that's been graded that they own in history. So I'm looking those up. And some of them are there, but there's not a big market. These are from 1991, as I've learned. That was the Undertaker's rookie year, if you will.
Ooh.
So there's 4 Undertaker rookie cards in every deck. And so I'm like, oh, wow, I wish these were in better shape because I played with them. So I got looking on eBay, and you can find a pack of those cards for, not that time, not that much, under $10.
You could have.
You could have. And so I bought those cards, and I individually sorted them all out, sent them in to get graded. They came back, all in great shape because I took them straight from the box to that. And I've been selling them for a couple of years now, but there's a guy, they've been going all over, but there's a guy that's trying to collect them all. And so every paycheck, he'll buy 3 or 4 or 5 of these things from me.
And we're not talking like $4 a card. We're talking like 40, 50, 90, 200.
There's some that,
per card times 52.
That's what I'm saying to your sticker guy and stuff. Like, they're not out there. You're not going to find a comp on everything. List high, and if you're willing to wait for a couple of years, the right guy comes along that says, hey, I want that.
There you go.
There's no more available. You're naming your own price to some extent. And then repeat customer. So
shout out to the think outside of the box. Take something that you didn't think could ever sell for money and go make yourself 2 gur.
And see, that's my thing where I've been into, I like, whatever. Like, your thing was baseball, the Padres growing up, right? Yeah. Somebody else's Alabama football, somebody's NASCAR, somebody's
You're inspired.
Somebody's Magic the Gathering, somebody's Dungeons and Dragons. Whatever that is, you know about it because that was your thing. Or still is. Like, you can make money off of that because you're spending money on that.
I gotta look at my cards. I'm gonna do that. That's I took away the accountability because since we started, I quit doing everything.
Yeah, you were rolling there for a couple of weeks, then you put it all on the wife.
My wife does all of it.
You claim that you're gonna do it yourself.
I'm doing it.
There was a debate in the truck about that on the ride home.
I'm doing it. There's no reason.
Because now she's worried you're gonna have competing stores with her.
Yeah, we'll just put it in the same store, but to see who sells more.
Yeah, it works.
Well, there's to the point now. What's the 2 things that are certain in life, man?
2 things in life that are for certain. That's like not even. I can't even do the original one.
We need it again. Give it to us, the real one.
Huge things in life are for certain. 1, I'm great. I'm excellent. The best ever. Probably gonna make me a king. Can't get rid of me. Eric's going to come in. Don Jr.'s going to come in. Ivanka's going to come in. That loser that she married, he's a loser, but he's going to come in. We're going to run the kingdom. Obama will work for us. Take that, Obama. Your Obamacare sucks. Nobody likes it. I don't like it because I'm huge.
So you're saying there's 3 things that are certain. There will be a Trump in the White House for the next 75 years.
They're going to leave us in there forever. They'll thank us. You'll thank us. Your grandkids will thank us. Their kids will thank us. They'll thank you for voting for me because that's what they do. That's what we do. 2 things in life that are for certain, and those are death piles, whatever that means. Don't know. Don't care. I don't deal with it. I have people that deal with it. And taxes. Not going to release the documents. Don't have to. Indict me. I'm being audited, okay? Adam, fix my thing. I'm audited. Can't release them.
And we're out.